So that's future oriented. So another characteristics of planning is it's a continuous activity. So you plan, your planning is is something that goes on and on. You plan something, then after achieving that goal, then you'll have to make another plan. Once that goal is achieved, then you make another plan. And at the same time, if the premises change and you cannot achieve the goal at certain conditions, then you have to make changes in your plan. So planning is a continuous activity. It is not one-time activity that you do in the organization. Once the goal is achieved, then you have to formulate another plan. So that's why it's a continuous activity. That is another characteristic of planning. And it's an intellectual work. See, as I said, this is something that is done for future, and you have to do a lot of analysis, lot of forecasting. So this has to be based on your intellectual capability as well as your experiences. यसमा base भएर गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ. That's why planning is something that demands a lot of intellectual efforts. And you are planning means you are also trying to be efficient. So planning, what you do in planning is you set the goal, then you decide on the activities to be carried out to achieve that goal, and you allocate the resources. So while you do the resource allocation, then efficiency is something that you always pay attention to. You allocate resources to be efficient, and everybody agree that efficiency and effectiveness, it's the heart of management. So we are managing गर्नु भनेको नै, we are actually trying to perform effectively and efficiently. हैन त efficiency पनि जहिले पनि, you have to always put efficiency at the center when you are planning. Okay, so that is the optimal use of resources that you have to do while you are planning. And planning has to be, some plans are very rigid, but most of the plans, there has to be some sort of flexibility, because future might change. Something that you have forecasted now might not remain the same as you have forecasted. So might change, and so there has to be room for adjustments of your plans. So there has to be some sort of flexibility in whatever however you plan. Okay, and so planning has to be very realistic. Your plans have to be realistic, and your plan has to be actionable. Okay, if you make plans and if it is not something that is implementable, or you cannot put that into action, then that will not make any sense. So whenever you are making plans, that has to be actionable. So these are some of the characteristics of planning. Okay, so when we say planning, it is the primary function. It is always oriented towards goal. It is also future oriented. We are always talking about future. Plan is not something that is done for past or present. It is done for future. And pervasive in nature means it is done at all levels of management. And it's a continuous activity. And it demands certain, intellectual work as well. And it's always centered at efficiency of resource allocation, and it has to be flexible as well. And most importantly, it has to be realistic and has to be implementable. Okay. Nobody speaks.
Okay, sir.
Is there anything that you don't understand in this? So we talked about the characteristics of planning. And so if you have anything, then you can ask me, or we can discuss among yourselves to make the things even clearer if you are not clear. Is it okay? Fine.
Fine, sir, fine.
Okay. So then I'll move ahead. So why is planning important? Why do we even need to plan? Yeah, let's stop sharing. It's not effective. Okay. Let's discuss. You have the slides. Slides method points. Let's bring the points from your side. Why do you think planning is important? Why is it important to plan? Manish.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Why do you think planning is important? Do you make plans for your
planning is important to increase the efficiency of the organization.
Okay.
Mm,
How does planning improve efficiency?
by planning, we can know the resources we're gonna be used in the future, so that we can allocate it accordingly, or buy it, or use it.
So whenever you are planning, means you are deciding on what are the different activities that you will be carrying out in the future. So you know all the activities one by one. So if you do not plan, then you do not know what will be the resources needed for those activities. But if you know, if you're clear what you are supposed to do in the future, and you know each and every activity that you do in the future, then you can also allocate your resources accordingly. But if you do not plan, if you do not know the activities, if you do not decide on the activities at this point of time, then there might be redundancy, or there might be duplication of resources, right? There might be shortage of resources sometimes if you do not plan. So that's why your time, your effort, your resources will be efficient if you do the planning, right?
Yes, sir. Also, it helps to make the strategies of the company.
Strategy. So there is what is the difference between strategy and plan?
I don't know the typical meaning, sir, but somehow it's similar.
Yeah, strategy it's a broader, it's a bigger plan. So whenever we are talking about corporate plan, then it's the strategy. It's the very big or grand plan, or it's a grand plan for the organizations, that is strategy. It's the same thing, right? Plan, whether you call it plan or whether you call it strategy, it is actually the course of action to achieve the goal. Strategy bandakeri, it's for the corporate level. It's a bigger plan. That's called the strategy. But if we are talking about in general any activities for future, then we call plan. Right? Strategy, it's a grand plan.
Also, planning helps to reduce the risk or uncertainty, as well as it provides direction to the company or the organization.
Exactly. So it reduces risk. Okay, you said it reduces risk. So, how does it reduce risk, Manish?
By planning, we may know about the future uncertainty which may occur regarding the staffing, as well as the resources, or where our company will be lead or heading towards. So we can make the planning accordingly, so that our company will not go in the loss, or our company will not face any consequences or problem in the future.
Okay, so we are foreseeing the future. When we are planning means, okay, these are the things, these are the our future premises. We are forecasting that, and we allocate resources, and we also allocate cushions, or we, if the condition changes from this to this, then we will have also alternative uh, alternatives for for the situations when the conditions or the situations or the conditions change. I know. So that's why we are also looking at the all probable uncertainties, and we are actually having preparedness for that. So that's why plans actually reduces risk. Okay, go ahead. Arko kere. So you said it's a efficiency आउँछ यसले risk घटाउँछ. Yes, okay. Then
it provides direction to the company.
Yeah, it provides direction. It says, planning means you are setting the goal, and then you are having actions done to achieve that goal. So you're always focusing, or you are always heading towards goal. So just imagine that you do not have any plan. You do not have any plan means you do not have any goal. So you can just imagine, if you do not have any goal, then you don't know what you are supposed to do. अब career or your future career कुरा चाहिँ नि, if you are not certain about what you will become in the future, then you will not know which program you would join भन्ने पनि थाहा हुँदैन, and you're just caught in confusion what to do. But if you plan, you know what your goal is, and accordingly then you will be taking the actions. So that's why you are always headed you're always heading towards your goal. Okay, so that's why it provides you direction where to go. Good. So somebody else? Deepak.
Yes, sir.
So we are just trying to see why we have to do planning, why planning is important. Manish said it gives us direction, because we are always focusing towards goal. That's why we know where to go, right?
Yes, sir.
So that is, plan gives us direction. And Manish also says that because of planning, we can get more efficiency brought into our operation. And he also said that it also reduces risk. So 3 points we have already got from Manish about importance of planning. So Deepak, if you have any points to share,
Planning
what the
help us,
other, yeah.
Planning help us in coordination of that different department.
Right.
And it also helps in controlling.
Controlling. Okay, good. So just try to justify your point. How does it help coordination? How does it bring about better coordination? And why do you say it also provides control?
It helps in coordination as we plan. There are coordination of different departments to achieve certain objectives of organization, so that they work in coordination to achieve that objectives. So it helps in coordination of overall department that are working in that organization. Similarly, in case of controlling, if there is proper planning, then each and every work that is performed in an organization is properly controlled. Either the work that we are performing is getting us towards our objectives or not. So
Okay.
it helps in controlling as well as helps in coordination.
Okay. So let me elaborate it. So whenever you are planning means you know what are the activities that you have to carry out. So when you know what are the activities that you are carrying out in the future, then you are actually assigning works to different units and different departments and different persons. Okay, this is what you are supposed to do, and these are the resources you have, and this is the time within which you have to complete this activity. And this is what you have to report to, and this is how what you have to command to. So all these task relationships are there in a planning. So when you have all these activities delineated clearly, who does what, then all this reporting and commanding is very, very clear. And that's why coordination is there when you have the plan. But when you do not have the plan, you don't know who is doing what. So there is lack of coordination. There might be, the problem of redundancy. There might be problem of duplication. There might be problem of gaps. So all these things are there. But when you have a plan, then this coordination is intact among the units, among the people. Okay. And it maintains control, because if you have plannings, then you have in front of you what you are supposed to do. And when you implement that plan, you carry out the action. So when you implement that, then you see whether your actions are in line with your plan or not. You have plan in front of you to compare with. अहिले मैले गरेको काम मैले प्लानमा बनाएकोसँग गइरहेको छ कि छैन भन्ने त you can compare it with your plan. So when you can compare with your plan, then you can control it. If it is, going away from whatever you are actually, whatever you have actually planned, if you are shying away or if you are deviating away from that plan, then you can control it and bring it back to track. So that's why plan, if you do not have anything to compare with, then you are also not controlling. But you have plan in front of you to compare with. That means you can control, you can bring it on track, right? So that it also gives you control. So it's goal focus, it gives control, it brings about efficiency, it reduces risk, and it also brings about coordination. So what else? Let me choose another. So after Deepak, let me go to Anish. What could be other importance of planning?
Planning sometimes helps to innovate ideas or solution to the certain problems that arise in the planning process.
Come again? Say it again.
So planning sometimes helps to innovate ideas or overcome the problems during the planning process.
Okay, so that's the intellectual work we said, so whenever planning is done, then there are, a lot of inputs coming from different people. So while you are doing any planning, so planning also fosters innovation, new ideas will come up. So there is innovativeness, creativeness when you do the planning. You come up with very good ideas, very innovative thoughts. So that also, that's why planning, whenever you're planning, you are also bringing in creativity, you are bringing in innovation. So that is another advantage, or that is why we need to do planning. So is there anything left? Any other importance you can think of? Bipan,
Yes, sir.
do you have any point to share with us about the importance of planning?
Planning helps in decision making also.
Helps in decision making.
Yes, sir.
Okay. कसरी पनि भन्नुपर्छ यार.
A manager makes many different plans. After planning, then the manager select or choose the best of all available strategy. Making selection or choosing something means to take a decision. So decision making is facilitated by planning.
Okay, so whenever you are in a situation to select from many options that you have plan. So in accordance with the plan, then you can take your decision. So what you have planned, what is your goal, accordingly you can choose the option, right? So that is why planning facilitates decision making also. Okay, good. Any other point? Kripa, do you have any thought about what could be other importance of planning?
I think they have covered most of the topics, sir.
Okay. Okay, so one of the points that I would like to add, so these every all the things have actually come here, but one of the things is whenever you have plan, then people who implement the plan are also motivated to work. So motivation is there. Okay, so whenever there is a plan, then motivation of the people or the employees or whoever, the stakeholder of the organization, they are motivated by the plans because they are aware of what they are supposed to achieve as the future goal. So that sort of inspires or motivates people, and that actually draws people towards the goal. So the motivation level is high whenever you have a plan as compared to when you do not have any plan. Okay, so it's very important that you do planning in management. It's not only in management, in personal, as a person also you have to do the planning. If you do not do planning, then you don't know what is your goal. So when you don't know what is your goal, then you do not know what is your path. So when you do not know what is your path, then you will tend to take several paths together. So then you will reach nowhere. Because if you do not know what you're going to be in the future, sometimes you must have seen, I joined science in +2, then I switched to management, then again I go to IT. So these sorts of haphazardness will come when you do not have goal and when you do not have plan. So in personal or individual life also, planning is important, and in organizations it's the base or the foundation of management. All right, so that was importance of planning. So let's see what are the different types of plan. So there are different types of planning, and they are categorized on different heads. For example, on the basis of hierarchy, we can have three kinds of plans. So it's based on the level at which the planning is done. So if the planning is something that is done at the corporate level, at the very, very top level, then that is called the corporate plan. Corporate plans are very big plans, and these are the strategic or the strategies that the organizations make. Okay, they are very, very broad, grand kind of plans that are that are made at the corporate level or the top level. You know, when you set the vision, when you set the mission, when you set the goals of the organizations, these are done at the very, very apex level or at the very top level, and that is the corporate plan, top level plan. So below that comes the tactical plan. So whenever you have a very top level plan, so within the divisions, within the departments, then you will formulate the plans in order to support your corporate plan. So in line with the corporate plan, you have to make smaller plans at the division level, at the department levels, and these department level or division level plans are called tactical plans. So this is the middle level plan. Okay. So, and even below that comes the operational plan. Operational plans takes place in every unit. It is a day-to-day plan that you make. For example, if we are talking about a manufacturing company, then it's the job shop ma huncha ni त्यहाँ कामै गर्ने ठाउँमा that workplace ma चाहिँ नि what are the plans for today. As a, for example, if you are a let's say furniture manufacturer, then you plan for today how many chairs that I'm going to make, how many tables I'm going to make today. So these are the operational level plan that you make at the very, very grassroots level or at the workplace level. Two level of planning, like we call it operational plan. So the planning, as we said, it's pervasive. It's done in every level. So which is done at the lowest level is called the operational level, and at the divisional or department level is called the it's a tactical plan, and at the corporate level plan means it's the broad grand plans or the strategies that we make for the company. So that these are three types of plans based on hierarchy. And on the basis of use, there are two types of plan. One is the single use plan, and another one is standing use plan. So there is a standing use plans are the plans that is done for a long period of time, and it remains same. It doesn't change frequently. But single use plan is, for example, the plans that you do for a project. Okay, so once that project is done, then that's done. That's over. It's a use for one single use, and the project is done, then it's no more there. So it's a single use plan. Standing use plan are the plans or the policies or the rules or which remain there for repetitive use. That is the standing use plan. So single use or standing use. And on the basis of flexibility also, some plans are very, very rigid, very specific plans. Okay, this is you do not have any flexibility to change. So this is what you have to do, and this is how you have to do. So this is also something that is more related with the SOP, standard operating procedures, and your policies, your your manuals. Specific plan. You have to carry out certain things as stated there. You do not change anything, or you do not modify anything that is there in the plan, and it's very specific. This is how you have to do when we do something. That is specific plan. Flexible plans are those plans where you can make changes as required as you proceed. And on the basis of time, generally, long-term, short-term, medium-term plan. So long-term plans are generally the plans which are made for, if the planning is done for 5 years or more, then it's called the long-term plan. So corporate plans are generally long-term. Your corporate, you can just, compare these three with hierarchy, time ko basis ma hune plans, and you can just correlate them. Corporate plans are generally not done very frequently, and they are done for a long term. And that's why corporate plans are very long-term plans. Long-term plans are the plans that are generally made for time more than 5 years. Your goal to be achieved after 5 years. Tactical plans are the medium level plan, or tactical plans or medium term plan. It's generally it's more than 1 year to less than 5 years. Plans or that is generally, they are generally called the medium term plan. And the short term plans are the, you can just see, operational plans just to say, like for a short period of time, you formulate plan for a day, for a week, or for maximum for 1 year budget, 1 year, that is short term, right? So on the basis of these 4 categories, we can have different forms of plan. Different we can name the plans. So next one is methods of planning. So what are the approaches that you can take for planning? So one of the approaches is top down. Another one is bottom up. Another one is participative, and the last one is team approach. So you can take, so whenever you are planning, whenever you are doing planning, or whenever you are making plans, then you can take one of these 4 approaches. So top-down approach, bottom-up approach, participative, or team approach. Top-down, what happens in top-down approach is the corporate or the top-level management, they set the goals, okay, and decide on the actions to be taken to achieve that goal. And what they do is, then they pass that. Yeah.
Would you please turn on your video?
Yeah.
Would you please turn on your video?
You have not turned your video on.
He means to say share your screen.
Huh?
Screen share nahi bhako chaina ke.
Okay, screen. No, I stopped sharing for a while. It's okay.
Yes.
And because now this is a very, I just want you to have some discussion on these 4 approaches that we can take to plan. One is one is top-down approach. Another one is bottom-up approach. Third one is participative approach, and the 4th one is team approach. You have 4, right? Top-down approach the top-level managers, the top-level management will set the goal. Okay, this is where we want to go, and these are the actions that we'll take. This is how we achieve the goal. Top-level management into planning plan garcha, and that plan is disseminated downwards to the lower level to get them implemented. अब त्यो implementation को लागि तल जान्छ, हैन? यसरी हामीले यो अचिभ गर्ने हो यसरी गर्ने हो भनेर चाहिँ plan is made at the top and is sent down for implementation हो भने that is your top down approach. And opposite to that is the bottom up approach, where the lower level managers, lower level employees, they set the goals, formulate the plans, and they are sent to the top level management, and the top level management approves that, and then it goes into, or if some changes are to be made, then the top level management will do all those modifications, adjustments, changes, approve it, and then they are sent down for implementation. That is bottom up. It starts from the bottom and will go to the top for approval, and again comes down for implementation to the bottom. So that's the bottom up approach of planning. And the participative approach is the mix of both. Top down or bottom up. It's the participation of both the levels. So top level management sets the goal, and the bottom level management suggests how we achieve this goal. So it's the participation of both top level as well as bottom level people. They sit together. It's also called the management by objectives. So there is the participation of all levels of management, and then they decide on the goals which they have to achieve, and they decide on the course of actions to be taken. So that's the participative method. And the fourth one is the team approach. Team approach, in order to make plan, they form a team or a group. They select the right people, maybe for one person each from each department, and they form a committee. They form a team to formulate the plan. So all the relevant people हरूको एउटा team बनाउँछ. All the effective plan बनाउनको लागि whoever जसको पनि contribution चाहिन्छ, they just form a committee or the team or the group of people to form हुन्छ, and that committee or the team or the task force तिनीहरूले चाहिँ नि they formulate plan, and that is called the team approach. Now you know the difference between all these four approaches that you can take to formulate plan. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Top down, bottom up, participative, and team, how they are done. You're clear, right? Now you have to be clear, because I'm going to give you a question for discussion now. So now if you know what is top down, what is bottom up, what is team, and what is participative, I just want you to choose which one among these four do you think is the best approach. That would be my question. So is there any volunteer among these four, which approach do you think is the best approach?
I think participating.
Participative approach. Why do you think it's more effective?
Because it is combination of both top down and bottom up approach, so that everyone can share their views while doing planning.
Could there be any disadvantage of this approach? खाली advantage मात्र छ कि यसको disadvantage पनि होला?
Disadvantage नि होला सर. होला सर सायद.
के होला the disadvantage? So whenever you are selecting any approach, then you have to do the evaluation. So you as a manager, so whenever you have to take decisions, then you have all these four approaches. I know यही हो के management मा चाहिँ चारवटा छ. You have a top-down approach, and the bottom-up, and participative, and you have team. So you have to take a decision which approach you're supposed to take. So that for that, then you have to do the alternative evaluation गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ, and evaluation भनेकै यही हो, pros and cons छुट्याउने हैन. Top down को pros, what are the pros of top down, and what are the cons of top down. So you do the evaluation, and then only after that you will be able to decide which one you are supposed to choose for your own purpose. Okay, Pukar. What is the advantage of top-down approach?
Advantage of top-down approach के हुन सक्छ भन्दाखेरि सर काम चाहिँ एउटा हायरार्कीमा जान्छ हैन. जस्तै अब टप लेभलबाट आएको डिसिजन त्यही फ्लो अनुसार डाउनवर्ड एप्रोचमा जान्छ, अनि सबैले त्यो कमान्डहरु फलो गर्छ. त्यही नै होला सर.
Okay. Anybody there? Who hasn't? Prashant.
Top down. Generally, higher level management is more aware about company vision and goals.
Prashant, you there?
Yes, sir. Hello. Hello.
One advantage of top down. Okay. Bipul.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Yes, Prashant, go ahead.
Okay, sir. Top level management is more aware about company vision.
What do you think is the main advantage of taking this top-down approach?
So generally, is more aware about.
Hmm?
So because of that, I think they can about what they want to achieve more effectively.
So your audio is very noisy. Let's okay, leave Prashant. I don't know what is wrong with your mic there. Let me ask Bipul.
Advantage of top-down approach.
Why do we take top-down approach in planning?
Top-down approach मा चाहिँ म्यानेजमेन्ट टिमले माथि कर्पोरेट लेभलको डिसिजन हुन्छ, जुन चाहिँ लाइक लङ टर्मको लागि हुन्छ, स्ट्र्याटेजिक डिसिजन लिएको हुन्छ. सो top-down, I think top-down चाहिँ बेटर हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ.
So top-down approach मा चाहिँ नि the goals are set by top-level management. They formulate the plans and then they are sent down for implementation. So what happens is, top-level management, they have sort of very deep knowledge about what is happening. Okay, they are the top-level managers and they are aware of what could happen in the future. They are they have got this broad vision. So when you have a very long, far-sighted, broad vision, then they are good at making plans, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, they think in that very wider, very broader vision, and they are very far-sighted, and that's why they set very firm and highly evaluated course of action. They are two level they are very highly experienced intellectual people sitting in the management, top level management, and that's why they are more better. They are better planners. I know. So that is the advantage that you get by having the top level management doing the plan and the bottom level people implementing that. Okay, and what is the disadvantage of top level then?
डिसएडभान्टेज भनेको चाहिँ लाइक बटममा अब जो हुन्छ नि हाई लेभल म्यानेजमेन्ट हुँदा तलतिर बस्नेको त्यो उनीहरूको आइडियाजहरू अब त्यो चाहिँ हुन्छ नि के प्रब्लम फेस गर्नुपर्छ त्यो प्लान गर्दाखेरि त्यो डिसिजन लिँदाखेरि चाहिँ के प्रब्लम फेस गर्नुपर्छ त्यो चाहिँ आइडेन्टिफाई हुँदैन। उनीहरूले चाहिँ अब टप लेभल म्यानेजमेन्टले चाहिँ लङ टर्मको लागि अब एउटा भिजन सेट गरे हुन्छ, त्यो चाहिँ अब अपरेसनल लेभलमा चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ त्यो फिडब्याकहरू नलिकन उनीहरूको आफ्नो डिसिजन मात्रै हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ।
So yeah, top level management, they might have very good skill in planning, they might have very good knowledge about environment, but sometimes they might not have the feel of the real world. So all these real problems, real issues are actually the lower level people are aware of those things. Top level management might not be aware of those things, and so your goals might not be that realistic if it is done by top-down approach, because the lower level people are more aware about what is happening and they know their clients better, they know the market better, so that's why all these facts are actually known to the people sitting at the bottom, not at the top. So the plans that are made by the top level management might not be effective. I know. Right? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
So that is what Dipul said actually. Okay, and top down there might be the lack of ownership. See, top level management formulates the plan and then the bottom level people have to implement that. You lose ownership of that plan. You are not involved in that, means implementation ma problem auna sakcha. Okay, people do not own that. They are they take it as something that is imposed on them. Participate nagareko kam afaile participate garera banaeko chizma chahi ni, you have more ownership on that and there is more motivation to implement that. But if you are not part of that while it is being formulated and if it is just sent down to you to implement overnight, it might be a sort of imposed thing on you, and you might have you might not have motivation to implement that. I know त्यो हुन सक्छ फेरि top down मा चाहिँ disadvantage. Bottom up मा चाहिँ नि because you actually have formulated that, हो भने you have more ownership on that, and when you have more ownership, then you have more motivation. When you have more motivation, you have better performance towards, performing, or carrying out or to achieve that goal. Right? But top-down approach is planning quick, and they are the ones who make the plan and then send it down. So there is no opinions coming from anybody. So there is no any other disagreement among the people, but participative ma chahi ke huncha, it's very good that everybody is there, everybody is participating, everybody is being involved. That is the best approach. But what happens is the disadvantage is that there is a problem in drawing the consensus of everybody. Sabaiको consensus आउन गाह्रो हुन्छ participative. That's why it's a very the process gets delayed when you have this participative approach. Eklayले गर्दाखेरि very quick, but if it is the participative approach, then it might be very time consuming, right? Yes. Do you agree? Come on, yeah, nobody speaks.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And team approach is generally, team approach ma chahi ni you have all the experts and all the people, relevant people like chahi ni euta team banaidiyo bhanne, and that is also सबैको participation पनि हुन्छ, and it's even faster than the participative approach than the team approach गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ नि, because the team is assigned the work to do the plan, and they are also given, okay, this much, within this much time you have to submit the plan भनेर त्यो टिमलाई दिइसकेपछि चाहिँ नि, that is another approach that you can take. Participations पनि सबैको हुन्छ, अलिकति छरितो पनि हुन्छ हैन, त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ नि it's a team is also sometimes formed to formulate the plan. So you can take one of these 4 approaches in planning. Now, what are the process of planning or steps in planning? Let's look into that. So what are the steps in planning? So the first thing that you have to do before planning is to do the analysis. One analysis that you do is the PEST. PEST analysis is generally done for strategy formulation. You have to do the environmental scanning. Okay, environmental scanning. Environmental scanning bhaneko, you have to look at the general environmental condition. Right? So we have discussed this PEST analysis is generally done for environmental analysis. So PEST analysis, it includes your political environment, your economic environment, your sociological, socio-cultural environment, and technological environment. You have to look at these things before even you formulate strategy. And then another analysis that you have to do is the SWOT analysis. These 2 analyses that you see outside this, the steps is called, they are SWOT analysis and PEST analysis. PEST analysis is the environmental analysis that you do, the broader environmental scanning that you do, and the SWOT analysis is your strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat analysis. Let's talk about PEST. So PEST stands for political, economic, socio-cultural, and technological. Political environment does make a lot of sense, and it has to be considered while you formulate your strategies. I know. So what kind of a political system you have, and what are the political changes that is taking place? What are the political decisions that are made? These are very important factors for organizations while they do planning, because these things have to be taken into consideration while you make plans. And similarly, economic conditions, which include like, the labor, the availability of labor, for instance, and the cost of labor, the cost of interest, all these things, or your inflation trend. These are the economic situations that you have to consider, before you do the planning. And socio-cultural conditions or social cultural factors are the factors such as, let's say, demography. Demography means, how many, what is the ratio of men and women, and what is the composition of the population, and what are the different social institutions, what are different kinds of cultures that the people have. So these are the things that also matter if you are doing business. And technological conditions is the technology, the status of technology, what level of technology, what advancement of technology is in the market, and what kind of a technology does your organization have. So all these things are of very importance while you make big plans. You have to consider all these things. Similarly, SWOT analysis is the analysis that you do to identify what are your strengths, because strengths are something which you have to capitalize on to achieve the goal. You have to use your strengths. Your strengths are something that actually support you in achieving the goal. So you have to use maximum, you have to make maximum use of your strengths in order to achieve the goal. But you as an organization not only have strengths, but you also have weaknesses. Weaknesses are those things which actually hinder or which actually come as an obstacle in your way. And opportunities are all the favorable conditions that you have, which also support you in achieving your goal. And on the other hand, threats are those factors which are actually the challenges, which pose challenge to you in achieving your goal. Okay, which actually try to decelerate your action. So those are the threats. You have to identify these strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Have you ever done SWOT analysis? Kasaiले गरेछ SWOT analysis? Have you come across this analysis before?
एकचोटि गरेछ सर, पहिला।
यो मान्छेको पनि आफ्नो पनि गर्नुपर्छ यो. You see, you have to do the SWOT analysis of yourself. For example, if you are doing SWOT analysis of yourself for IT market, IT market को लागि यसो राखे आफुलाई राखेर हेर्न पर्छ हैन. What is my strength? So you always, whenever you go for the interview, you have to highlight your strengths. I know weaknesses are there, but weaknesses like चाहिँ के गर्दै जानु पर्छ भने we have to keep minimizing the weaknesses. Weaknesses like चाहिँ हामीले कसरी कम गर्दै लानु पर्छ भन्ने कुरा. Now just tell me, what is the difference between strengths and opportunity? So here you see, these are four things you see. So SWOT, strengths are strengths and opportunities. These two are positives, and weaknesses and threats are these two are negatives. So how do you see? What is the difference between strengths and opportunity, and what is the difference between weakness and threats?
strength depends on yourself, whereas opportunity is provided by others or the situations.
Just a minute. I don't know, where did the screen go? Okay, can you give, yeah, you said it right, but can you give me an example? Let's
Okay, sir.
It's Prashant who said that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me आफ्नै SWOT analysis भन्नु हैन, your SWOT analysis गर्नु पर्यो, म आफैको SWOT analysis गर्नु पर्यो भने let's say for IT को market को लागि है, after graduating go into IT market and tell me one strength of yours and one opportunity that you see for IT sector.
Okay, sir. So I think I can talk about things I can do. So for example, if I know some technology, then I can talk about that. So I think that is my strength. And also I think my communication skill is good. So if a company prioritizes communication skills and technological skills to exist together, then that might provide me an opportunity to do something.
So what's the opportunity there?
I can get good job offers because I can build stuff and also I can talk about that stuff.
No, what are those factors which are not under your control, which is not yours? I know strengths are something that is in you, right? So you have the very good communication skill, means this is something that you possess. So that is why it's a strength. So when we talk about the opportunity, it has to be a factor that is lying outside you, but favoring you to achieve your goal. So what is the opportunity there?
Yeah, many companies also expect programmers to be good at communication so that they can work in a team, and yeah, so that way I can get job offers. That might be an opportunity.
This class will end in 10 minutes.
What has it must be not very clear to all again. What is, so you have to be knowing what is the opportunity and what is strength. Somebody else can make it even more clearer. Kipa, sorry, Kipa.
Yes, sir.
Try to differentiate between strength and weakness with example as given by Prashant. I know it's distinguishing. We are trying to distinguish between strength and opportunity.
Strengths are these skills that we use, that we can use, whereas opportunities are events that we can use to make ourselves better using those strengths.
Yes, example. Actually we are trying to support this. What you said is correct. Give me an example of strength and opportunity. For example, if you are entering into IT market, one strength of yours and one opportunity. So when you do the SWOT analysis, what we do is हामीले list down गर्ने हो, मेरो strength के छ भन्ने list them down. What are my weaknesses? List them down. What are the opportunities? What are the opportunities for us? And what are the challenges for us? You list down, then you will see, okay, we'll try to grab all the opportunities that are there. We'll try to minimize our weaknesses. We'll try to use maximum the strengths that we have, and challenges with our strengths, we try to withstand the challenges or the threats. I know. Just one example of strength and opportunity that you opportunity the strength mindset. It's any analysis. One mistake that people we generally make is we try to mix these two things together. Okay, opportunity the strength mix on answer. So we have to be very clear what is strength and what is opportunity.
So if I have good communicating skills and drawing skills, I can use that.
And that's your strength, right? You have control on it, and that is something that you possess.
So I could take an opportunity in IT market as graphic designer, or a cartoonist, or mostly in graphics. Also, I can use my communication skills to make a better opportunity for me, as well as communicate better with my co-workers. It can strengthen, it can make the work more effective.
Now, opportunity is one example could be like, there is a huge demand for IT professionals. So that's the opportunity. If there is no demand for IT professionals, then there is no opportunity for you, even if you have strength. Okay, opportunities are those factors which is not possessed by you, but these factors which are around you, but favors you in achieving your goal. I know lot of IT companies from abroad are coming to Nepal and for operations. That is the opportunity for you. I know. And what could be the threats? Something that is outside you and posing challenge to you. So what could be the threat for you, Prashant, in this scenario that we are talking about?
Threat. Opportunity threat. Okay, so there are many IT students right now in the country.
So that's the threat. See, it's beyond your control. You cannot control it. So there are many IT programs, mushrooming. BIM बनेछ, BCA बनेछ, CSIP बनेछ, there are so many IT related programs coming in the market, and so many IT professionals being produced, and you have to compete with all of them. So that is the threat to you. All right. So those factors which actually, those factors which is not under your control, and that actually come on your way as an obstacle, and hinder you from achieving your goal. Those are the threats. So that's why it's very important, before you do planning for your organization, you have to see what are your strengths, what I am very good at doing, right? And what is my core competency? What are the things that I can do differently than others? Identify those things. For example, if your organization, you are located in Kathmandu, so location is your strength. I know to location it's a strength to you. And opportunity is like you have a very, very good internet facility in Kathmandu. That is opportunity. That is not within you, but something that is lying outside. But that is a favorable situation for you. That those are the opportunities. So you have to list all these things down. List them down. Write down all your strengths. Analyze critically. Evaluate yourself. Put them down as a list of your strengths. Weaknesses पनि त्यसरी मेरो के कारणले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ नि मेरो गोल अचिभ गर्नलाई बाधा पुग्छ list them down, all the weaknesses, that is weaknesses भनेको आफूसँग कमी भएको चीजहरु. If you are located somewhere like far away
This
from
class will end in 3 minutes.
so there's only 3 minutes left, and who Bipan has done the presentation before.
Yes, sir, already. I have done already.
Manish has done, right?
Yes, sir.
Deepak has done.
Yes, sir.
Prashant?
No, sir, I have not.
Okay, Prashant will do a short presentation in the next class on business ethics, right?
Business ethics?
Short presentation on business ethics. So we'll continue with this planning and decision making in the next class. For today, I think we should take leave now. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, bye for today. We'll see you when? Tuesday. Okay, take care. Bye.